Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is directed by Mike Newell and stars, you know what, pretty much the same people from the last three movies. Remember how I said that Goblet of Fire was the movie where everything got more mature, everything got darker, and that Prisoner of Azkaban was the calm before the storm? The movie makes that extremely clear. This movie opens with a dream that Harry is having about an old man who is making something at home, and he hears some noises in the house nearby him. He goes inside to find out that there is a man on a chair and another person talking to him, and when this old man is sensed, he is immediately killed, but however Harry wakes up and it's revealed to be a dream. That's the beginning of this movie. This leads into the Quidditch World Cup, which honestly is kind of funny because this is a scene which they kind of talk about as like, oh my god, it's supposed to be this big thing. It starts, but you see none of it. Okay, I'm gonna assume the match wasn't that great then. However, this does lead into one of the bigger sequences of the film, which is the Death Eaters. Now, these are supporters of Voldemort. Think of it as the Nazi party for Hitler, except that Voldemort has a cult too. And these guys are attacking the entire place, this entire camp where these World Cup viewers are set up. All the tents are being torched. They're looking for Harry Potter. We're supposed to assume that. And Harry and Ron and Hermione are trying to get away along with the Weasley family and some of their friends. However, Harry is knocked unconscious and he falls down, but when he wakes up, he sees the dark mark. Now, this is the first time in the entire series where we see Harry's scar burn. We get hints of this in previous movies. We see him rub his scar gently in Philosopher's Stone when he senses something is wrong. This is the first time in the entire series so far where it actually starts to burn him. It starts agonizingly paining him. And this is one of those moments where you realize this is already a way darker movie than previous Harry Potter entries. Which leads us to Hogwarts, where they're hosting the Triwizard Tournament. This is a tournament which is being headed where two other magical schools called Durmstrang and Beauxbatons are coming in with their students, and basically one student from each of these schools will be representing the school in these three tasks, and the third task, whoever wins that gets the Triwizard Cup, this beautiful looking thing, and this will be chosen through the Goblet of Fire. Now when this happens, the Goblet of Fire actually reveals three names when the fourth parchment comes out and reveals the name of Harry Potter. Before we go into the rest of the plot, let's talk about the things in this movie that work, and we're going to talk about how that affects the rest of the film. Everything up to this point has been extremely well done. It is a darker film. Up till this point, in the last 20 minutes of the film, they set up everything beautifully. In these 20 minutes, they've set up new characters. They've set up a world for Harry Potter where everything's going to be much more dangerous. They've set up the fact that there is a tournament about to happen. And they've also set up the fact that Harry could be in a lot of danger this year, especially since the fact that he has to do three tasks now, which could probably kill him, and is going to cause conflict between him and his friends. There is also the whole thing about that old man dying and the man on the chair, and who could that be? And these are the little things that they bring together into what is a very dark Harry Potter movie. And The Goblet of Fire is a great film. Is it the best Harry Potter movie, as many people like to call it? Probably not, but it's still a really fun movie and I still have a very good time with it. And this movie builds on the future of Harry Potter extremely well without having to resort to exposition every single time, and more like leaving it to the shock value at times where you find out things slowly as the film progresses. There are expository sequences, but that doesn't mean the movie is only full of expository sequences, because that wouldn't work either. Some of the scenes in which the Triwizard Tournament is going on, the first task where Harry has to fight off the Hungarian Horntail and get the golden egg, it's a marvel. This is a great scene. I loved it. It was a fantastic scene. It was tense. The score...
It's him. Victor Crumb.
Tell me that doesn't send chills down your spine. Now, there is one point in this movie which is a contentious point for a lot of people, but we'll get to that in a minute. It takes place between the first task and the second task. This movie is, in a sense, building to the reappearance and the resurgence of Lord Voldemort, and it does that in such a sinister way. Harry is doubting things the entire time while he is in this movie. He's having these dreams, he's having these visions, he has no idea what's going on. His scar is burning, there are Death Eaters attacking, there's the Dark Mark. These are things which are slowly coming together. Even Dumbledore is confused, he doesn't know how to make sense out of all these things. On top of that, there is a minister by the name of Barty Crouch whose son is a Death Eater, which will be a major subplot because that son might have come for Harry. And by the time the ending sequence happens, this is a movie that actually does not really have much of a happy ending. This is one of the few Harry Potter movies where there is a bittersweet ending. And this is welcomed because you have the first three movies to look back on for the joyous endings. And this is the first time where you're seeing things get much, much darker. Now let's talk about that one point of content. A lot of people have a problem with the sequence involving the Yule Ball, that it's just a major distraction from the tone of the movie, which has already been established. In my opinion, I agree with the fact that it is a massive change in tone, but I get why they did it, and I respect the decision by the filmmaker, and I'll tell you why. I respect it because it is taking something which is already dark, an idea for a story which is already much darker than it needs to be, and it's still maintaining some of its innocence, which I completely understand, and it does that well. There is never a point where I thought that, oh, maybe you should just get rid of this. This is trying to keep in with the original spirit of Harry Potter, that fun, slightly comedic, very surprising kind of setting, and it works well. Now, a lot of things happen in this ending which are very important. For example, one of Harry's friends was the other person from Hogwarts, whose name is Cedric Diggory, played by Robert Pattinson before that happened, gets killed, and this is something that has an impact on the entire series forthwith. And Lord Voldemort's appearance, this time played by Ralph Fiennes from here on until the rest of the series, he is fantastic. This guy's appearance is menacing, he's deadly, the fight between them, you see the connection of the wands happen to an Expelliarmus and Avada Kedavra. This particular scene is brilliant, and I loved it. Some of the directions in this scene, it's a very tense, very well shot scene. You have no idea who's gonna come out on top of whom, and this movie does a great job of setting up future movies by setting up the fact that Voldemort is back and now there is a threat to deal with. Guys, in the end, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire had many things in it. It was a tense movie with some great things about it. The acting was great, the direction was brilliant, the music was really good, the way it set up future Harry Potter movies was great. There are some points, this is the Yule Ball thing, where I felt like maybe, while I don't mind it, where maybe you could try it and switch things up a little bit, but it doesn't matter because I loved this movie and I really enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen it yet, please do go check it out. I'm gonna give Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire a 9.5 out of 10. Guys, what did you think of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know. You guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you like what you just saw and if you want to see more Harry Potter related reviews. And I will see you guys later.